you got to understand my entire income is somehow, some way related to reselling. Whether it's garage sale videos sourcing, whether it's flipping videos talking about what's sold, or whether it's the items selling and making money off of the items selling, all of it revolves around items selling. And if that ceases, I'm not gonna make much money. Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. Welcome to the cabin. Hope you guys are doing great out there. Hope your sales are great out there. We have an okay day of sales, a couple of cool items in here, but nothing that just jumps off the page is like a big sale. Although I did have two of those come through today that we're gonna go put on the next video or two, and we're gonna ship those out tomorrow. But I'm gonna take this chance with a slightly lighter than usual day here to make an announcement to talk about some changes that I've been hinting at for a while. Because to be honest with you, I haven't been satisfied with the sales. January wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. February's been up and down, or was up and down, and March continues to be up and down. Good days, bad days, but we're not hitting the goals that I want to hit, and so we've been implementing some changes. I want to talk about those changes today, get your opinion on those changes, and talk about some cool things that sold. Let's take a look. As we're looking at these first three items, before we get into the topic and I give you the changes that I'm making, I'm just curious out there, if you're a reseller, I know a lot of folks who watch aren't resellers, especially on Facebook. If you are a reseller, how are your sales? Is there anything in particular that you're struggling to sell? Are your sales up? Are your sales down? Are they up on one platform, down on another? Let me know in the comments. I sold something I'd love to sell, Auburn bin here, so you know it's a banner. And they're not big money. Matter of fact, this is even less than usual. It's only $8. Is that a watermelon? Yeah, it's a watermelon. And normally I like to buy them for $1, sell them for 10 or more plus shipping. It's kind of worth my time that way. But selling it, that didn't want to fit. Selling it for, here, let me move this one a little bit, move that one a little bit. Now we got some space. If you know, buying everything for $1, selling it for $8, you got to sell a bunch of stuff to make the money you want to make every day. But I just love selling this stuff. So easy, so cool. And it sold for $8 plus shipping. So $1 into $8 plus shipping is probably around a $5 profit on it. Looking at that banner, there's a little bit of a stain on it, which is probably why it only sold for $8, because it's pretty cool. And I mean, who doesn't like watermelon? At any rate, sold something that I used to sell a lot more of, but I don't quite as much anymore. And that is Reselling. But this isn't just your typical Reselling kettle. This is a, I'm gonna have to move some stuff back here. This is a copper, well, a lot of them have copper bottoms, but this is a copper Reselling kettle. And it isn't perfect, but it's cool. I don't know if somebody's gonna use it or if they're gonna use it for decoration, but that one sold. I paid $1 for it at a sale not too far from my house down in Bedford, Virginia. And there's not a ton of sales down there, but I remember buying that one for $1. Got the wooden handle, sold for $20 plus shipping. Back in the eBay cave here, and if we're in here, it's because usually it's a bigger item or it's an item that's a slow seller or both, and that's what this is right here. Look who's on my porch here. Got some animals on my porch. Sometimes you pick up stragglers when you go inside. That's what I did here. This is a New Wave oven top dome. And I used to sell these all the time for $40 plus shipping all day long, and I'd sell them as fast as I could list them. And then somebody started producing them and selling them, I think on Amazon, I'm not sure. At any rate, it really fell off, and so now I still buy them because you can sell 3 or 4 different components of the New Wave oven, but I usually don't pay more than $1 or so. And this is a pretty big one, and so, you know, it's going to be UPS or FedEx because it's going to go over a cubic foot. But it's super light, easy. Just wrap it up in some American Bubble Boy bubble wrap right there and put it in a box, and you're good to go. And it sold for $34 plus shipping. I mean, look at these two right here. Y'all are acting like you're good. This one's good. This is No Name, y'all. And that's Wallen, and you're not good. You're an ornery little puppy, aren't you? But we love you. Now that dome right there actually was not an eBay sale. It was a Bonanza sale. I want to use that to touch off this conversation. My wife and I were talking the other day. We're looking at the chart, all those eBay sales. And you know, we've had some crazy good days this month. Like crazy good days. Like I think we had like a $1,200 day. We've had a few over 500, a couple, 2, 3 over 500, a bunch in the 300s. But we've had 5 days this month with sales less than $100. And like our bare minimum is 200. We try to shoot for, actually, technically we're shooting for 300 every single day, and we're not quite there right now. It's dipped underneath it, and it's not really the listing problem that's going on right here. I think we're listing enough. I think the sales are just down for multiple reasons. I want to talk about that, and then the solutions we're going to implement. Actually, we're only going to talk about one of the solutions today. Over the coming weeks, we'll talk about some of the other ones. And actually, before we start talking about the topic, I want to use this item and one more item back here to make a point. We sold a t-shirt, and it was a new t-shirt in a bag, and it was not listed long. It's a Life is Good t-shirt, size XL, and it sold really quickly here, and it sold for $25 free shipping. And let me tell you, we have had some difficulty selling different types of items. Clothing has been one, not vintage clothing. We've been selling the fire out of vintage clothing, and we've been selling all kinds of stuff that you typically see in here. But we have really struggled to sell what I would call utilitarian items. We used to sell them all the time. It was the bread and butter. It's why well, it's not why, but it's back when I started reselling, this is the stuff I would look for. The utilitarian things that were useful that people would pick up because they're saving money, not going out and buying something new, and this kind of thing. When in doubt, part it out, replacement items. And I used to do that a ton, and I still do. But I have a harder time selling that stuff. But I see it selling like crazy everywhere else. And so there's a reason behind it. But clothing is another one. Clothing that is not vintage, that is not, you know, cool, as it were. You know, just utilitarian type clothing, polo shirts and jeans and just kind of normal run-of-the-mill stuff. Shoes like that. I've never been a great shoe seller, but I used to sell them more than I do. It's just completely dried up. I've looked at the numbers over the past year, and it just continues to decline. The click-through rate on it, or not the click-through rate, excuse me, the conversion rate on it just goes down and down and down. And those type of listings for me are getting buried within max weeks of them getting listed, and sometimes even less than that. I'd say days, and they're just dead on arrival. If you watch this channel, you've seen a shift where I've been doing a few more auctions like this one. This one only sold for $10.50. It's just a lot. It's got, what is it? Radiation, Will Smith. It's Naughty by Nature. Anyway, $10.50 plus shipping on that one. And I've also talked about some changes in social media. So Facebook, and folks over there on Facebook are watching right now. And so we've started to put this on the Facebook page as well. We're, you know, growing across all social media platforms, and this store, this eBay store, is linked to it. And so we're seeing huge increases in traffic. I can see it just going steadily up to match the growth in the social media. And we're having buyer sales. We're having viewer sales, and those are going up. And you hear me talk about them. You'll hear me talk about them today. And that is awesome. I feel like it's our own self-promotion, and we're getting those sales. And we're getting a lot of those sales. It's becoming a higher and higher percentage of our sales, not just because more viewers are buying, but because so many viewers are in the store and they're not buying a pair of shoes, right? They're not buying a plain Jane polo shirt. They're buying, you know, this kind of stuff because they see it, they like it, and they want to support us. But what it does to those utilitarian items is they're getting impressions and they're being skipped. Impression, skip, impression, skip. And that'll kill you in the algorithm. And that looks like it's what's going on with that type of item. So we've done something strategic to hopefully continue the viewer sales, because we're incredibly grateful and fortunate to make so many viewer sales, but hopefully to increase the utilitarian type sales as well. One way to do that would be to start promoting items that are utilitarian type items, and we considered doing that, and we might end up doing that in the end, but I don't like promoting sales. I don't know. It's going to be my last ditch effort. Let's put it that way. This one right here, I'll let you look at what's in this lot right here. Sold for $20.50, which is a pretty nice sale. Now, we had a lot of options. We have decided to start cross-listing, but we did have some other options. James, I think you have bought from us before. I think you bought another set of CDs from us before, so thank you for that purchase. I could be wrong. I don't see a message, but I'm pretty sure, James, I've seen that name before, and I've thanked you before, and I'm thanking you again. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy that CD lock. Like I said, we had options. One would be promoted listings. One would be to open a second eBay store and not make it public, but it doesn't take long for people to figure out what that store is when you're showing what you sold every night. They look it up, reverse it, and they can figure out the store. And so we decided on another option that we're both pretty excited about. We are going to start using List Perfectly. Actually, we already have. And by the time you see the next couple of episodes, I'm hoping to see some sales just like we had the Bonanza sale here. There was one day last week where we had 0 sales. It was like 7 o'clock at night. We had 0 sales on eBay and 2 Bonanza sales. That is insanity, because we only sell 4 or 5 things a month on Bonanza. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? And then the very next day, we had like $500 in sales on eBay. It's just a wild roller coaster. There's other reasons besides this utilitarian reason that I'm talking about, why we've decided to do this. And I'm going to explain those in a minute, but let me tell you about this one first. This one, boy, that didn't get cleaned really well. Oh boy, it's stuck on there good. Maybe that's why. Anyway, this Aladdin CB'er truck driver deal here. That one sold 1976. It's an old one. And it's over $17 plus shipping in 1976. Best year ever. Unless you're Howard Hughes. We really figured that we would have much more success selling this type of an item in the long term on another site. We'd still list it on eBay. We're still going to get some eBay sales for sure on this kind of stuff. On clothing, on jeans, on shoes, and we decided, you know what, we're going to start cross-listing for multiple reasons. This is one of them, but this isn't the biggest one. And we're going to get this type of stuff, especially the clothing, onto Poshmark. We're going to get this stuff on the Mercari as well. We may expand that to different platforms, but we're going to start right there. And we have started by slowly importing importing all of our stuff from eBay to List Perfectly. And the cross-posting is going to begin, well, it already has, just really trial. But we're going to try to get all that stuff over there first, because there's really another reason on top of this. If you watch YouTube channels, if you watch people all the time, you got to understand my entire income is somehow, some way related to reselling. Whether it's garage sale videos sourcing, whether it's flipping videos talking about what sold, or whether it's the items selling and making money off of the items selling, all of it revolves around items selling. And if that ceases, I'm not gonna make much money. And if you watch some of these YouTube resellers, you'll see the stories. Chris or Daily will find me, lost his eBay store, banned forever. And then you'll see other ones like Troy was 3 days, and you'll see these bans every once in a while and these horror stories. And I'm like, man, boy, I did all that. I think I got the wrong one. I did. I'm looking for some golf balls that I think are in this because they came from the Lost and Found sale. And they were pretty good ones. We decided to sell them right here. Those sold right there for $21, and I don't have any idea. $21 plus shipping. And this one went to Patricia, first time buyer. You can combine my 2 items, so you bought something else in here, so I'm sorry I missed it. I don't know if it's before this or after this. Thank you. I watch your videos nearly every night and find them very interesting and helpful. Started reselling back in 1998. That's the beginning right there, y'all. Right after it started. It was an incredible time. So much has changed. No doubt. Best of luck. I appreciate you. Wait a minute. Let's see your eBay store. Oh, best of luck to my eBay store. I thought you were going to shout yours out. We appreciate you. And I hope you enjoy the golf balls. And let me tell you, you are absolutely right. So many things have changed. And not all bad, right? We always tend to focus on the negative changes, but there's a lot of positive changes. Y'all, if you're new to reselling, you might hear some of the old timers talk about it. I remember back in it's probably 2001, 2002. After you waited for the money to show up in a money order, sometimes people send you envelopes of cash. Then you would go and you would hand address the package, and then you would go stand in line at the post office forever. Most people would. Some people would have the little machines and whatnot, but it took a long time to get that stuff done. And so the money you were making, while the fees were lower and the shipping was lower, and there was a lot of good things about back then, the Wild West, less competition, but there were so many negatives as well, and we tend to romanticize the past. But this is one of those changes that we're talking about, and I think in the coming years, I think it's going to be more and more common. How many of y'all out there are cross-listing? And it's not for everybody, by the way. If you're niche down, if you're selling one category, if you're selling a few things and it sells really well on one platform, there's no sense in doing it. But when you do what I do and you sell 8 million different things and you have a viewership and an audience and it's suppressing some things and boosting other things way through the roof, I want to try to maximize my sales. I think this is the best way to do it. I want to be, my goal is $150,000 a year in reselling. We are not there. We're over 100,000 gross fairly easily, but we're not up to 150. And there's just no way, if we can't average on just those low days $300 in sales a day, and then when those high ones bump you up $500-600, then you can get close to that $150,000 mark. But you can't do it if you have days in the below 100, which is what we've had lately. And it's really, because these type of items are still selling and selling better than they ever have. It's the other items that are struggling. I'm going to pull 4 more items here, and I think this is Elizabeth, so hold on, we'll give you a thank you in a minute because I want to continue the conversation about cross-posting. This Cabbage Patch, it's a pretty nice one right there. If you're curious about Cabbage Patch, that's the one-toother right there. I don't know what head mold that is, but you can go watch that video and they'll tell you in there because we have this when we feature it. Is that 6 there? Oh, I'm going to get them britches up. And go watch that Cabbage Patch video. It really is pretty cool. And it's really popular over on Facebook right now as well. So I want to talk a little bit about these other reasons, these suspensions, these bans. You know, we talked about these different folks. And to have all of your listings in one place, essentially off-site. And that's what List Perfectly does. And that's why one of the reasons we've chosen them, there's many reasons why. It's really just best for me because I am like technologically illiterate and I need a really robust community to walk me through and hold my hand because I struggle with this stuff. I hate change. I hate it. As evidenced by the fact that we've started up before. You've heard me talk about List Perfectly before, and then we stopped and then we started another one out. We're going to go back. I've actually been fortunate enough. I've talked to all the CEOs of all of these companies. I've had the opportunity to use all of them, even if it's to go through and just see the platforms. And so I've made this decision. I know a lot of you out there are cross-listing. A lot of you refuse to, and I respect all those decisions. And I'm not trying to sell anything. This is not a sponsored ad. They didn't give me any money for this, although they did give us money for the Trash Cash bash in Vegas. Pay for the dessert out there. By the way, if you want to go to that, there's still tickets available. You can check CommonwealthPicker.com and go to events, and you can check it out. Anyway, side note, right? I have done this because this is a great decision. I think it's a great decision for my business. And I'm hopefully going to share the process with you over the coming weeks and months. And at the end of the year, look back and say, all right, are our numbers up? Are our numbers down? And it's not always apples to oranges, right? Because this year might just not be as good as years past either. So I'm prepared to look at all those numbers, especially on the utilitarian type items. And me and my wife just this morning decided we weren't going to just do it for clothing. We weren't going to just do it for these type of items. We're going to do it for everything because there are some items like toys, for instance, that really do a lot better on Mercari and video games, and you can get premium prices. And we're going to do it in a way that isn't going to take a ton of time because time is money too. If you spend forever cross-listing and that's sacrificing listing, then maybe it's not worth your while. So we're going to take all those things into account as we go through this. If you are thinking about doing it, we will have a link in the video description. You can always check our QR code for the link with code Commonwealth, 30% off. If you're interested in doing it, we do get a kickback for that. I don't know what, 10% or something. I don't know what we get. I should probably look. It might say it on there. I'm not sure. They have different plans. I should probably know this as well. I want to say it's $29.99, $49.99, and $69.99. I think that's right, actually. Let me look. Well, I don't see it. That's probably pretty close. Should give you the idea. And of course, there's cost to that. And there are free options out there. But in my opinion, this one is far better than the free option for me for multiple reasons. But let me talk about the rationale to do it to begin with. Forget about why we're going with List Perfectly. We've talked about two already. One is the quick pivot, to be able to quickly move from one platform to another, even if we're not currently listing on it. You know, I remember a couple years ago, Facebook was just roaring with sales. Now it seems pretty dead. And I totally missed out on that. But if I would have had all my listings in one place and that export would have been so easy to do, I would have done it. And I don't think I'm going to be listing on Facebook right now, but I would have done it. And if one platform really jumps up or offers reduced fees or shipping is different, there's another big bonus. Like, I sell a lot of big things. It's a lot easier to sell on Mercari with big things because they're not using the dimensions and they're shipping only weight. So if you're selling a golf club, you can avoid some of those costs. So I'm getting into all kinds of reasons. I'm trying to just give you an idea why we're going where we're going. I do think cross-listing is the future for maybe a great majority of resellers, but not everybody. And don't take this as telling you to do it because your situation may be very different than ours. Sold some Ray-Ban case, a Ray-Ban case here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Hold on. There it is. $10 for that Ray-Ban case. Free ship. There's a good kitty, aren't you? Huh. So I've been calling all my buddies who are full-time resellers. I talk about the guys over at Reseller Information Network, and I have a lot of respect for those guys. You know, the bulk of their actual income comes only from reselling, and all of them are cross-listing. Now, they're doing it on different platforms, and a ton of people that I respect are doing it. And I'm like, man, I've never really had to do it up to this point, but I think it's a good decision. You want to talk about an item that the algorithm just kills because so many impressions with no purchases, this would be one. Because what kind of viewer's buying this, right? Although Elizabeth bought this, which is really interesting. So $7.99 free ship. So the debate I was having with those guys and with some other folks was, you know, am I better off to start promoting because they also do promoting? I don't want to do promoting, or would I be better off doing this in the long run? Talked about it with my wife. We decided this was the best option. I mean, I like, you know, promoting is right for a lot of people, but there are a lot of people promoting at 10%, you know, their average is around 10%. And I'm like, man, there are months we're selling over $10,000 worth of stuff in here. And at 10%, I mean, that's $1,000. So am I going to sneeze at $29.99? I'm going to go with the Pro plan because we're going all in on this. We're going to be cross-posting hopefully every single item. See, now this is the kind of item that I don't have any trouble selling. Of course, you know, viewers are buying this kind of stuff all day long. I bought this at the Goodwill. It was pretty cool. I can't remember exactly, but I want to say it was under $5. And it's a Melissa and Doug T-Rex. And that one sold for $30 plus shipping. People always ask me, how do you ship it? Well, find a big box, bend it, and you can bend something like that. So Elizabeth, thank you. She says she found our channel when searching for the best way to ship coffee mugs. That was so many moons ago. I have learned so much more and truly enjoy the content. I'm going to put that over here. You can check out that video. Now remember, not all coffee mugs can ship out first class, just FYI. If they're under 13 ounces to begin with, you're pretty safe. You can get it shipped out. Always glad to show some support when possible. So happy with my Commonwealth Picker tote bag. Thank you for all that you do. I appreciate that, Elizabeth. We appreciate you as well. All right, let's finish this conversation up really quick. Just to go over them again. So I want to avoid these fees if at all possible. And it may not be possible in the end. We'll just have to see how it goes. But paying a little extra and putting a little bit of elbow grease into getting these listings onto other platforms where the algorithm's not killing them because our social medias are growing so much and those impressions are growing. I've seen it just in the last couple days. Since we started posting these type of videos on Flipper, the impressions are going even higher. And it's just crazy. We're so appreciative of everybody out there. And then, you know, if you know me and you pay attention to all my social media, and I am everywhere. It's not that I'm scared to go back to a real job. I just love this so much. I woke up today. I put in a good couple hours of work before my kids got up. Then they got up, ate breakfast. We went out and took a walk with the dogs, you know, and then we came back and I got back to work. You know, I get to work with my cat and, you know, my cat, I can't believe I said that. At any rate, I am always making sure that I am not over leveraged in one area. And that is true in social media. And now I need to make it true. I think in reselling. I don't want to put myself in a box where everything is really hinging on making eBay sales alone and the occasional bonanza sale, of course. And I think this is just a good strategy, a safe strategy for me, and it's pretty cost effective. It's not that much. You know, I'm like, you know, if I make a couple more sales a month because of it, it's worth it. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. And let me know in the comments what you think. Is it right for you? Let me know if you've thought about it. If you have thought about it, go ahead and use our link if you would. I would appreciate that. While this isn't a sponsored ad, we do have an affiliate link with List Perfectly. And I just think they're the most terrific folks. It also fits our model. If you follow us, we tend to make partnerships with people that have names and own their own companies, of course. And that is true of Joel, American Bubble Boy, and Charlie at SupplyHut, and Faith and Paul at My Reseller, Genie, and now Amanda and Clara over there at List Perfectly. Thank you, by the way, for extending your generosity towards Trash to Cash Pod. And we have another announcement that, well, you know what? I'm going to make it right now. The List Perfectly folks have sponsored Craigslist Hunter and John and my event, I can't even say it's my event. I'm just going to say it's Pete and John's event that they've been gracious enough to let me co-host with them. And they are going to be the main sponsor of that event, the Reseller Rally, being held in September. So thank you, ladies, for that. We appreciate that. And I'm so excited to start on this. And really, this is a huge stress relief for me. I know you don't see it behind the scenes, but I'm like, man, there were days where we were selling nothing. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to have a video for today. And it was, you know, only viewer sales kind of stuff. I think this is going to change that a little bit, I hope. I want to show you a couple things really quick. Check this out. Pick and Maine. How awesome is that? Love that sticker. Thank you for sending that to us. We'll put it on back there as well. Oh, hey, I wanted to show you this. And viewers send me cassettes all the time, VHS sealed. I collect sealed VHS and sealed cassettes. I bought one and had one sent to me. I want to show you. I should have showed you how they were shipped. This was shipped in a box with bubble wrap, which is how you really should do it for a sealed cassette that people might collect. I absolutely love that, by the way. Check that out. And this reminds me of Turner, sweet little Angel Turner, wearing his Dirtbags hat with the skull and crossbones. Just didn't quite fit. And then this person shipped a sealed cassette in a bag. And look at the difference. Just crazy. So, at any rate, it's really awesome. I want to show you that really quick, and I'm happy to have both. This one's got some value, I think. It might even be like gradable, if you can believe that. This one, not so much. But it's still cool. I like it. You see that one right there? Awesome. Turner's here. That means Wallen's here. Did Wallen behave on his walk today?
Not really.
No, he didn't, did he?
No.
He wasn't too bad, I guess.
I mean, no. But...
He just likes to get into stuff, doesn't he? Anyway, hey, check this sticker out. I was just showing him this sticker. I know you have a lobster joke, so... Pick and Maine. Pretty cool sticker. You like that one?
Yeah,
I do too. Cool. Can you tell them your lobster joke?
Why do lobsters not like to share?
Why do lobsters not like to share? I don't know why.
Because they're shellfish.
Oh, a little Commonwealth comedy, Turner. Thank you very much. And you know, every time you do a sale, people are just wondering. They're just so worried that since you don't get $1 to save, $1 to spend, $1 to donate. He still, every time he appears in a video, see, look, well, I'm being bad again. Every time he appears in a video, he gets what?
$1 to spend, $1 to save, and $1 to donate. Bye.
Hey, all Reagan's got some sales off the CommonwealthPicker.com store. What do you got?
Annette got an Animal Man, and her eBay store is Peanut70. Bradley got a gray CWP shirt or Trash Cash. I can't remember.
I think it's CWP.
Yeah. And then Chris got an Animal Man.
Awesome. Your hair looks awesome today too. I like it.
It's from the meat.
It's from the meat.
Which was
and you were awesome at that meet. I had so much fun. Thank you, and I appreciate you. And tell them where to get there.
Bye, and don't forget to get your sticker at CommonwealthPicker.com.
Hey, I didn't really get a chance to get into... I got into the rationale for why we just chose to start cross-listing, but not into the rationale for why we're using List Perfectly, really, as much as I wanted to. I'll do that down the road, but I want to mention one more thing here today, and that is the evolution of their product is impressive. It's why I started talking about my reseller Genie, because you can see where this product is going, and now the feedback I'm getting from the folks who have signed up, they're like, I cannot believe this is saving me so much time, and it's all, you know, it's a pretty powerful tool. And I think List Perfectly just keeps getting more and more powerful and more useful, and it's a logical decision for a lot of resellers who are serious about what they're doing. And I just think that it's headed the right direction, and I trust them as well. And they've offered a 30% off discount if you use code Commonwealth, and that's big too. I think it's 30%. So if you want to sign up, use code Commonwealth. You'll get that. I'd appreciate it. No pressure. But if you decide in the future to begin to cross-list, it would be kind of you to use that link. If you're going to want the discount, thank you. Or you can go to CommonwealthPicker.com. You can check out all of our affiliates, all the links we talk about all the time. All that stuff is over there if you're ever interested in it. And you can get the discounts on most of them. Not all of them offer a discount, but we appreciate you using them all the time. So thank you. We appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you next time. All right, Turner, we also got a surprise for you. Come on over. Carrie, American Arbitrage, and Dawn, of course, were so kind to send you this box. Tennessee Titans hat. How cool is that?
Angel.
It's a sweet angel hat. One of my favorite angel hats with the silver around
Who's
it.
this guy?
Tim Salmon.
Tim Salmon.
Isn't that funny how the two of the Angels' best all-time players are named after fish? Yep. A salmon and a trout.
And
Old school angel hat. Another Tennessee Titans hat. How cool is this? Plus these baseball cards and wrestling cards. That's one of my all-time favorites, the British Bulldog.
That's cool.
And he's got some cards in there. We'll have to look through that. So Carrie, thank you. Dawn, thank you. Appreciate it. And I ripped on you because this was sent priority. And I ripped on you because you used a box you had to pay for at Walmart, not from SupplyHut.com. Code Commonwealth, 5% off. And you could have had a free one, so... But I told you I can't really complain because, I mean, who does this? Who sends all this nice stuff? You guys are awesome. Can you say thank you to Carrie and Dawn?
Thanks, Carrie and Dawn.
All right. I like it. You look cool, buddy.